What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another Throttled Roots podcast recorded right here at our studio inside of Ventura Harley-Davidson. If you guys are ever looking for a new pre-owned or any service for your motorcycle, Ventura Harley-Davidson is a place to see. And of course, our partners, our people, if you're ever injured in an accident or know someone injured in an accident, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. There are people, they'll take care of you, man. Cody.
What's up, bud?
I got our homie Cody here, man. Good to see you, dog.
The master builder.
Good to see you, man.
I like
it's
what
good
you guys
to see
done to the place.
We appreciate that,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, we
Thank you.
we took this quaint little spot that Harley said, "Do your thing right here," and we kind of just turned it into what we thought would be a good vibe.
Oh, they turned out great.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm gonna. You said you were gonna hook us up with some lights too. I'm gonna take you up on that show.
I still have it.
Just busting your balls, man. Just busting your balls, man. So, for those of you guys that don't know, Cody, I'll be fair to say, Cody has history with TR,
Yeah.
from the jump.
Yeah.
And I will also be on my end, good and bad, on my end. That's where I'm sure we'll dive into some of that stuff as well.
I think everything worked out well.
I think so too, man. I think so too. And what I do appreciate, and I was thinking about, just on my way over here was like, I know our relationship, everything. And then it's to know some of it and then to go, but we're men. We squash that bullshit and we're going to go podcast or we're going to go chop it up. He's going to come to the studio and we're going to have a good time. That's what I'm like. That's real G shit right there, man.
Yeah,
That's real stuff, man. So we'll chop up into all that, man. But we've been kind of watching Cody do his thing, man. I see you over there working on bikes, doing all kinds of stuff, man. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to you today, man. It's kind of like we have our opportunities to kick back at shows and this, that, and the other. But this is a little bit more
Relaxed.
kick back. We don't got nobody to bother us. We don't have anybody else. It's just kind of, let's talk to Cody, man. Let's catch up and shit, man.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you rolling down, man, coming and hanging out with us.
Absolutely.
Can I address the glasses real quick?
Yeah.
All right, just because everyone always asks, like, why are you wearing glasses inside? Again, because we're cool as shit. That's it.
That's first and foremost.
Number one, we're cool, okay. But we still don't have our window art over here. So it is like a giant beam of light just staring at us right now. So but first and foremost, we're cool, dog.
Yeah.
That's the way it is,
Come on,
man.
man.
That's the way it is, man.
We're looking
So-
at it as saving money because we don't have to buy the lights right now.
That is a way to do it, man. So, but Cody, what's been up with you, man?
Working, riding when I can.
Working, riding. So I guess the thing that's always easy to start with when we have somebody is the bike, because that's usually what everyone's always like has in common. That's usually our connection here for the most part. So what are you actively riding?
Right now, I recently bought a few months back a 1987 blue frame FXR. So it's bike 580 out of 750 because they only did the blue frame that year.
I want to say blue frame and blue flame because doesn't it have a little
It's
thing
got-
on it?
yeah,
A little- is that original paint?
That's actually not. I thought
it's
it was
not.
for a while, but then yeah, it's not.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I
I
thought it
think
was
so.
too.
It's been repainted.
All right.
Yeah.
So what was it number?
580.
It's very
580.
similar to the original paint, though, isn't it?
It's same colors, everything. And
Okay.
they just added the little flame on the Harley emblem.
Okay.
Okay. So 580 of what?
750.
750. Now, did you know that when you bought it?
I knew that I knew of the blue frame. I didn't know they only did 750 of them.
Okay.
But yeah, I knew they did the blue frame. I also didn't know it was year specific, but
Did you go out looking for that, or you just you were looking for an
so-
FXR and stumbled across this one?
I got some inheritance from my mom passing.
Sorry to hear that,
Sorry
brother.
to hear
yeah.
that.
And it was like right when I got that, it was actually the same day. So that morning, I actually was just browsing on Facebook Marketplace, like everyone else does.
Every day, man.
So I saw it listed, and I didn't think anything of it and checked it out, whatever. And then maybe a few hours, I found out that I got my inheritance, and then I was like, all right. I went back, looked at it. The dude dropped the price, so I just messaged him right then and there. Got it that same day.
Local?
Yeah, right down the street from my house, actually.
Holy shit.
You
So
never
it's
know
right-
what's in your around you,
right.
man. You never know what's in your backyard.
Well, it's almost like it was meant to be.
Oh yeah.
The way he said it's like the way it's he's
So,
saying the story. you
What's
know what I
funny
mean?
is it's actually the same year that I was born, and it's my mom's favorite color. So I named the bike after my mom. So the bike's named Cynthia.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool little tribute.
real
Cool way to kind of honor,
Right.
memorialize
right.
your mom. You know,
Definitely.
that's cool. Was she into motorcycles?
No.
No, but it doesn't mean that mean anything. Just curious, you know, you have your way of being able to remember and honor your mom. On the side of my bike, my old man passed in 2019. Yeah. Everyone always asks me, what does 1419 on the side of your bike mean? January 4th, 2019. It's the day my old man passed. It's my simple, stupid way to be able to, for people when they ask, to be able to talk about my old man. So I totally connect with him, man. I get it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Well, so you pick up this bike then, it's down the street from you. Mm-hmm. Good price. Can we ask? What'd you pick it up for?
I got him down from even what he was asking for.
Okay. You don't want to say the number. I get it. I'm with you. There's always a resale value. You don't want to tell people what you bought it for when you go resell it. You know, I get it, man. But happy, you know, I always, like any transaction, it's always good when you feel, whether you did or you didn't, get a good deal or whatever, as long as you feel like hey, I got, because sometimes you're gonna pay an extraordinary amount, but it's what you want. And it doesn't matter, because that, as long as it satisfies, like,
very true,
that's what I want, you know. The dollar amount is up to you on how much you paid for it, whether other people think you overpaid or not, you know. It's kind of simple as that. So so you pick up
for me, like, I always wanted an FXR. So when I originally bought it, I only really bought it for the foundation of the bike. I didn't really care what was on it and all that kind of stuff.
I feel you.
I actually didn't even know a lot about the bike, because the owner that I bought it from couldn't answer really any of my questions. But
old timer?
No, it was a young kid.
Okay.
He was cool, but he just didn't know much about the bike. But maybe like 2 weeks later, I found out who actually originally put it together. So it's actually a pretty stout bike for what's in it.
Okay.
So I'll probably, when I rebuild it this year, I'm going to probably reuse a lot of the parts that are on there, but still change it to make it my own.
So how original is it? Percentage wise, you had to put a percentage on it.
Maybe 80%.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, you know, bars and stuff, that's the normal.
I don't count that, but it's got an updated Sportster front end on it, dual disc. Because it was originally single disc.
But that's a good upgrade to not have the original.
So my plan, when I rebuild it, I'm going to do like a repop or a, you know, modded version of OG. Keep it original, but still make it like a performance type thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So kind of like a mix of a classic performance type.
You got ideas for it. You kind of know what you're doing.
So I'm going to repowder coat all the frame and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to add like metallic to the powder coat so it shines in the sunlight a little bit more.
Now let me ask, because I got to ask for the purists that are going to, because I know I've got friends that are purists out there. Let me just ask. Let me just put out there. It's 580 of 750. Mm-hmm. No numbers. I've never looked into this bike, to be honest with you. When you posted it, I had never heard about this bike. So your education to me, exposing it to me, was my exposure to this particular bike.
Right.
And so how much value is there? Is this, I mean, out of 750 made, that's not a lot.
So I've thought a lot about it long and hard, but like the forks aren't original. There's a badge on the triple trees, so I don't have that. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't have to make it an OG bike.
But the frame itself is the original color, and you're talking about changing the color of the frame.
No, I'm going to keep the blue.
But it's
going to be the same color. It's just going to have a
metallic,
clear coat with metallic in it.
So it won't be the same color.
So it'll be overlaid. It'll be the same. It'll be
similar. Okay.
Just have that little shimmer to it.
I feel you.
Yeah.
And listen, I know, and I asked, I have never dipped my toe into the FXR game. Yeah. I've always been a fan of it from a distance, right? Mm-hmm. But I've always wanted to get into them. But what I do know is that I have some friends that are purists. They're like, they do the right changes, the bars and the exhaust and the brakes and stuff like that, right? They do the right ones, but they want all the period correct, because that's just where the value is and the aesthetic of the bike overall. Like, this is the way it was supposed to kind of be, you know? So FXRs are their own kind of, you got your own niche of people that are in those. And for those of you who don't know, FXR, you want to hit them with one of the analogies of what FXR kind of stands for? No? You never heard of FXR? Fixer. They call them fixers. They call them fixers because you're constantly working on these things.
The first month that I had it, I was definitely trying to make it survive at the end of the year. So yeah, I think I was fixing it more than I was riding it for a little bit, but it's pretty good now.
But I think that's
Still
why
leaks oil, but
see, I think for me personally, that's one of the reasons that I've always kind of been like a fan from a distance, but I want one because I'm like, they're called fixers. I'm that dude that likes to like have his shit break down on the road. I'm stupid like that, but I like to have that shit to be able to experience through my bike build or through my bike period. You know,
if you've never experienced riding one, I would definitely try riding one. It's
so you jumped from the sporty when we first started riding together. Right. You were on that. Do you still have that, by the way?
I do.
You still have it? Okay, so you're a 2-bike guy now. Welcome to the club, dog. Welcome to the club.
Got 2 things to fix.
Yeah. So coming from the Sportster to the FXR, because you're saying if you never ridden one, ride one.
Yeah.
I mean, give like the top 2 or 3 things that you would notice right out of the bat between one and the other.
Well, I think there's just the weight there, so it definitely goes through the corners a little smoother. Don't feel like you're fighting it as much, but I mean, I love the Sportster because you can ride that thing like a dirt bike.
Yeah.
So, and it shifts like a dirt bike because it's such a direct shift.
Yep.
So
yeah, that not having that separate transmission, it's really helps a lot on that shifting for
it's
sure.
The shifting mechanism is exactly like a dirt bike. So it's like there's no linkages or anything like that. It's just straight. You know, you don't have that play in it. But even then, they're just so light and nimble. You can just toss them around, and they're fun as hell in the canyon when you set them up right.
So, like, explain to people because you rode the Sportster, you rode the FXR. Explain to them a little bit about like the difference between one and the other, just in a turn. Like, what do you feel different from a handling perspective or a bike perspective? So
you could definitely feel the weight in the bike because obviously the weight is a big thing, and it's a lower center of gravity. So because you're sitting more deeper into the bike, so you just feel like you're not sitting on top of it so much. So it's more leaning feeling. Soaks up the little bumps a little bit more.
The geometry suspension is different. They're like a rear shot.
Totally different animal.
Yeah,
for sure.
They handle different. If you get the opportunity to throw your leg over an FXR and one that's like, it doesn't have to be crazy decently set up, but something that doesn't have blown out shocks and leaky fork seals, something that's at least got something at its base, then, jump on it because that is the evolution of motorcycles. That's why some guys are like, shovel head till I die because they love. There's certain things in there that they like. There's certain things that Evo guys and FXR guys like. And so anytime you get an opportunity to jump on a different style of bike, your bike isn't the only one that's ever blown through town and the only one to ride. A bagger's way different to ride than a Dyna. A Dyna's way different to ride than a Softail. A Softail's way different to ride than a Vikla.
It's all in how you like to ride.
Yeah. And that's why I got a few of them because I got one to ride this way and I got one to ride this way and I got one. That is why you own 3 of them because you got to set them up. That is absolutely correct. You got to set them up. Each bike is a little bit different, so you set them up to kind of do. You should be setting them up to do different things because sometimes you're gonna want to haul ass in a straight line. Sometimes you're going to want to do it in a curve, and sometimes you're just going to want to sit there and watch the birds and listen to the bees and just cruise. That's the vibe of motorcycling. So I'm glad to hear you have the sporty though, man. I'm still glad to hear you got the sporty. Didn't need to. If you don't need to get rid of one, don't. In my early career of motorcycling, it was like got to get rid of this one in order for me to upgrade. At some point, you kind of like, all right, I figured this out. I can just go hustle a little harder and go buy another one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like my backyard's the canyons. So it's like if I want to just go rip a canyon real quick after work, I'm just going to hop on the Sportster just because it's quicker.
Yep. And it doesn't drip oil.
It doesn't drip oil. I know the tires are good. They're not covered.
You got to warm it up. Fire and go.
Yeah, that one's fuel injected. Yeah. So we live in a beautiful area, man, where we do have that opportunity given to us all the time, man.
I mean, even today, I mean, it's
sunny,
middle of January. It's a little hazy out, but I mean, it's rideable weather.
Yeah.
I mean, hoodie weather.
It's probably 70 right now.
Yeah, 60s, probably 60, 70.
I'm gonna be a little bitch about it right now and go, I was fucking cold coming here.
No,
right?
It is. But it's rideable. Is what I'm saying. It's nippy
but it's not overcast. The sun is out. But that is me bitching
because ice on the ground.
I'm a spoiled Southern California little bitch.
I know. That's what I'm saying. 65 is freezing to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like, damn, it's fucking cold.
I live between 2 mountains, dude. It gets cold as shit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the
I'm in my
sock-
garage working, and it's like 30 degrees inside.
Do you get the fog going through there pretty good?
It gets pretty
Yeah,
nice. Sometimes.
you get it pretty good through
especially
there,
through all like the agriculture area.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when they're like.
Oh, that's the worst, dude.
When they
home
just
from
fertilize,
work,
dude. You
coming
can't
home
even
at
see
night, dude, on a winter night, dude. When you hit those orchards and shit, dude, it drops like 15 degrees, bro. It's like, whew.
I've ridden home at like 3 a.m, and it's just like your visor's open because all I have is a tinted visor, and it's like you're just like ducking behind your fairing and praying. It's like I hope a deer doesn't come out.
I've been down that road, man, at late time as well. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's sketchy, man.
Well, but you said you in the garage as part of like what I've been kind of watching you journey through, I think is maybe a right way to put it. I'm not sure. I don't know if people know exactly your background. I know a little bit of it. You know, I know you were heavily into cars. There was car culture that you kind of grew up in, or hot rodding, kind of grew up around that. So you kind of have the mechanical gene in you, just kind of the like us, you know, if it's got a motor, I like it. You know, that's kind of the way it goes, you know.
100%.
Yeah. So cars, is that where it started?
So my family owned a semi-truck repair shop over here in El Rio. So I grew up in a shop. My baby crib was actually a 48 Anglia. So I grew up that. So a lot of mechanic stuff comes from my dad's side.
Okay.
So I mean, we had the semi shop, and then next door was the building where we had all of our projects, like the cars and all that kind of stuff. So I just grew up kind of tinkering and all that kind of stuff. And I love my dad, but he taught me a lot, but also didn't. Because you go and ask your dad, hey, how do you do this? And he's too busy. He says, fucking figure it out.
Tough love.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
get the fuck out of the way. Give me that.
I love that because it taught me a lot of problem solving.
Of course. Yep.
Yes.
So now it's like I feel like I'm really good at problem solving or finding out what an issue is. You know? Being able to identify problems before they are problems, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, like started with cars, and then wasn't until about 5 years ago that we kind of. So my dad's first bike he bought was in 2000. No, 04, because it's an 04 dyno. So he bought it from here actually, and I was suspended from school at the time. So he dragged me with him to go buy the Harley. And then, probably maybe 2019, 18 is when I started getting more involved with bikes.
What was it then? Because it was your dad still riding? Or?
So I never, I did dirt bikes and all that kind of stuff. I was really big into the dirt bikes. But it wasn't until I moved back down here that I got involved with bikes, because I wanted to get a bike and ride with my dad before I didn't have that chance to. Huh. So
respect
that was my push to get into the bikes, and then it just took off from there.
Yeah, it my experience in seeing other people when they get into the Harley thing, it kind of like if you're like what you're just explained, you grew up in a shop, you grew up around a dad that was kind of like rough around the edges, trying to teach you the ways that men are. Once you get to the Harley realm of it, you end up getting around all those other same type of dudes, and then you're like, I'm hooked. You get like, that's what sucks you in. But it's when you're that type. It's when you're the type that you are, the type that we are, versus you didn't get raised in that, and then you're like, that looks cool, I want to do it. You don't get sucked in and bit as much, because you realize all the dudes that hang out, because I see them, and
I see that a lot.
Well, when you get in this type of group, I mean, like I see his house all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like mine or yours. You open the garage, and next thing you know, there's 5 people out front, and you didn't even invite them over. They're always welcome. But you know what I mean? They'll drive by, see the garage open, or see your Instagram, you were in the garage. Like, well, I ain't calling Cody. I'm just going to roll over.
I have 10 people at my house sometimes.
You know, that's what I'm saying. You know,
it just turns out
that's the best part of it.
I love that shit.
That's the best part.
But see,
of it.
that's why, in my opinion, like when you kind of get raised in that culture and around gears, around engines, you just kind of grow up in that environment. Once you get to the Harley thing, you end up finding that all the Harley people, most of them, that they're what that is. And so you get the garage time on top of just going and riding your bike and then hanging out with your buddies, maybe I never tore that apart. Well, fuck it, we can do it. And you start tearing shit apart, and you start learning about shit together, and that's how you get to the point of like where Cody is saying like, man, I got bit. I'm just in because it's everything in my alley of what I'm like I like. That's how the shit rolls, man. And now I see you working on bikes. Is it mostly friends, or you take people calling you now?
Friends, people that word of mouth type thing.
Yeah.
I get a lot of people that hit me up on Instagram and all
You're
that
not.
kind of stuff.
Are you actively like promoting and looking for work as well?
I don't need to.
No. Okay.
I think I'm booked up until maybe March. Just
you got enough projects that you're already.
So I kind of stay away from the maintenance stuff. Like I'll have homies come over and they'll do their own maintenance and stuff because my garage is open. If you need help, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Not trying to make that an open invitation to everybody come over, but
let me rephrase that. If you're in my circle.
But no, it's like they even work on their own bikes. I got like my buddy Jack. He's starting out with the Harley wheels and all that kind of stuff. He works over there at Thrashin', so he's right across the street from me.
Thrashin' opened up right there in Moore Park now, right?
They're right around the corner. So he comes over and he needs to fix his stuff because they're on stunt bikes. They break down every day.
Well, you're beating them up. What do you expect?
Yeah, and he's young, so it's like I throw him tools and like figure it out. Same way I.
Same way, man. And that is then how
I'll do the hard shit. But
Jack's already bit. He's over there at Thrashin', But
he's
I mean, that's the steamroll of it, right? You come over, it's like my buddy's got tools. Like, here, what do you need help with? It's that part of it. I've always been an advocate of like, hey, ride your bike, go to the events, go put miles on, go do things. But there's another part of just the riding motorcycles that exists, which is even if you don't want to turn a wrench, just being with your buddies that are turning a wrench,
just hanging out,
that environment, there is that to experience and understand and grab in this culture that we live in, because it is what this culture is, man.
Oh, 100%. Because I have a sound system in my garage. We got barbecues in the back.
Yep. You set it up to hang out. It's a hangout, That's what you're doing. Having a good time with your buddies, making some good memories, drinking some beers, whatever it is you're doing, busting knuckles. That's part of the get down and stuff, man. So
bring some beers, bring some ice. We're gonna be ready.
What are you working on right now then?
Right now I got another bike that got brought to me because I had a buddy who moved to Fraser Park, so he doesn't have a garage to work out of anymore. So I kind of took over a build for him. So it's gonna be a stout motorbike. 95 high compression, heads were ported and polished, 590 cams, so it should be a monster when it's all done.
Nice.
So that's what I'm going through right now. And then
I'm actually
building Colton stunt bike. So we got his engine torn down. We're gonna send his bottom end off to Dark Horse this weekend.
Nice.
And then same thing, kind of build like that will be more of like a mild build, but enough to survive because he's gonna be on rev limiter, so it's gonna be kind of a different build. Building it more tough rather than chasing horsepower, because you don't really want big ass cams at high RPM.
He just needs that bottom end, get the wheel up, spin the back wheel, low end, lot shit type thing. Are you guys changing sprockets, bigger sprockets, stuff like that on it?
The sprocket and all that stuff, we haven't really dived into that yet. Right now we're just kind of doing the engine, and then once that's done, we're just gonna go from there.
I talked to him actually just yesterday, but I told him when he came and did some work on my truck, I'm like, dude, you're my diesel mechanic now. I don't know whether you wanted to be or not, but congratulations. You're my guy now. He
works over there at 805 Diesel in Cameroon.
Which is like around here, and not even just around here, probably extends even further. Really well-known, top end, knows what they're doing, diesel mechanic shop, man. So diesels are a whole nother beast, boy.
So you got Colton over there and you got TJ over there, so they're both really cool people.
Colton's been coming over to the pad. I just had yesterday too. I was telling you, man, I went to go get my kids Slurpees on Fridays. I pick them up, and every time they're like, Dad picks them up Fridays. As soon as I pick them up, we're going to get Slurpees and Funyuns. Damn right we are. We're going we go straight to 7-Eleven and shit. So that's our thing. So anyways, I go there, man. We go inside, we come out, load them all back in, turn the truck on, back up, throw it back in drive, man. As soon as I throw it in drive to go turn the wheel, the thing just dies. Just dies. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, I went to go turn it back on, crank, it just crank, nothing. So it happened to me before. It actually happened to me the very first day I bought the truck. I've had it for like about a year and a half. The day I bought it, I was like, oh my God, what did I just buy? I was all pissed off and shit. It did the same exact thing. It's got this aftermarket fuel pump system on it, and I can't hear it coming on. I opened the hood and I'm like, damn, it's not, because it did the same thing before. So I was like, let me go check the fuel pump, and I didn't hear the fuel pump coming on. And I'm like, well, I know there's a fuse. I checked the fuse. Fuse was popped, right? And I went to go check I told the wife, hey, there's a box of fuses. She brought me the box of fuses. I put a new fuse in. I figured new fuse, pop, we're going to go. Now I put new fuse in, all that shit. No, it didn't pop it. Then it just started cranking, but I still can't hear it on. I'm like, well, did it pop it again? And I looked at him, didn't pop it, but the fuel pump.
What about the relay?
I don't know that there's a relay for it.
There should be a relay.
Yeah, there should be.
It's an aftermarket diesel fueling system. Like, it's got a fuel pump. Like, apparently the stock one is a piece of shit, and this one is what you're really like, you need. It's like one of the best.
So what did they do to fix it?
Well, so the last time that it happened, it wouldn't start. I had another buddy come over, and when he got there, I had been charging the battery because I've been cranking. And so I had charged it the night before for him and do it. And I was explaining to him what it did. And I don't know what he said. He said something about, he's like, hey, shake the truck. Like, because sometimes you get a bubble or a this or a that. So I shook the truck. And then the next time we started it, I'm all, watch. Here's the problem.
Starts right up.
It turned on. And it hadn't done it since yesterday. And so I have no fucking idea. So anyway,
it's still over there.
Long story short, no, I ended up getting home. I called tow truck. I had to call AAA and, get it back home last night. So I got it back to the house. But long story short, with Colton, I called Colton in the middle of it. I'm like, Colton, can you give me a pointer, see if you can get me? So I said, I'll get it home. You're my mechanic now, so you're gonna be coming over soon, man, to figure this thing out.
Make some room, Colton.
Yeah. So, but he's a solid dude, man. He put that Sunday stunt day together. That that was a friggin' blast, man. That was a blast. You put two of them actually together. Which one did you?
I went to both of them.
Yeah, I know the first or the second one. Which one were you vibing off of more?
I think they both were fun.
They were both great. The first one I liked because it was so like just.
It was more relaxed.
I like
the second one was packed.
The second one was banging, but the first one for me, I like both of them. But the first one, he had So High there. He had the band out there. It was a local band. He had and they were just. Dude,
chilling, dude.
I remember when the cops rolled up, they just kept playing. They just kept playing, dude.
They did.
It was 2-man bander, and they went for like hours. They were just ripping out there, dude. And the cops showed up, and they just didn't miss a beat. Just kept on rolling.
I think they showed up like 3 different times. And it was because we were on Rev Limiter the whole time.
Yeah.
I had a buddy that lived on
a good time.
There was a buddy that lived down the street from there, a couple miles. He's like 2 miles from it. He said he could hear it.
Yeah, Mark from
Steve, right? Steven, isn't it?
Yeah,
Steven.
So yeah, he told me he fucking heard it, and he's like 2 miles away from the lot.
I don't know how far Mark is, but Mark lives down there, Silver Strand, all the way down at the end of Silver Strand, which is pretty friggin' far from where we were at.
That's a few miles,
which is more than I think 2 miles. At least if you take the road, it is definitely 2 miles. But a straight shot over the ocean, it might. I don't know what it is. But he said he could hear us.
That's crazy.
I'm not joking. That shit must.
It had to have been echoing off.
Well, dude, there were. I mean, think about it, dog. There were some killers there over there, dude. They had,
15 bikes at one time.
I mean, Brennan was there. People.
Dude, I walked out of there, dude. I had blisters, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I had blisters all over my legs, dude. My hands, dude, were just. I was pulling.
I got burn marks on my phone screen.
Yeah, and it was just like everywhere I pull rubber off, it was like a burn.
So my wide angle lens, you know how the iPhones have 3 lenses?
Yeah.
The fisheye one. It's got a fucking hole burnt in it.
So when you use it now, you can.
So every time I use it, there's a big fucking spot.
Bummer.
We pull out.
Dyna Nate did that to me.
Dyna Nate got
when he rusted his tire.
We pull out like some of our gear sometimes from the booth and stuff, and dude, it's like still like there's still rubber on some of the table covers.
I had some in my my bar bag.
Oh, it was everywhere, man.
Yeah,
it was everywhere. So I can imagine. I can understand why. When you got killers like Dyna Nate, you got Brennan, you got Kellen, you got Colton, and then you just got all these dudes that they're like, hey, we're having a lot session. They all just mashed. Yeah. And you got 10, 15 dudes Rev Limited.
Yeah, and then we had
You're gonna hear
even
it.
had
You're
drop.
gonna hear it.
We had Nate there, Nate 77, then Dropback Diaz, and then Jackson.
There was a lot of heavy hitters.
Dude, there were some bangers out there that day, dude.
And you know what? And I mean,
no regrets.
Or I'm gonna toot the 805's horn for a minute right here, because I know some of them came from other areas, Bakersfield. You know, Jay Black Rain comes from down south. You know, I know there were some people that came from a little bit of ways, but half of them heads were right here from our backyard. Like right here, 100%. 805. You know, and I mean, I know this stunting thing's getting. It's growing legs. There's circuits. There's drift cross. There's all these things that are growing out there.
Cross thing. That was a good idea.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I like to see it, but I like to see that homeboys like Brandon are out there doing it, like representing this area, because there's a lot of.
I just ran into him yesterday getting parts here.
Brandon?
Yeah.
You know what?
I saw his van pull up. I'm like, I know that, man.
Yeah, dude. He's
getting a bike built from Vertical Cycles.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me.
Brandon?
Yeah, brand new Nightsters.
Get down, Brandon.
They're building it for him at four drifter cross.
Yep.
Wow, good for him, man. I'm stoked to see that, man. I love to see that, because Brandon's been a homie since just lot days over here up at the beach.
And he's a good dude, man.
Yeah. So I mean, and Kellen,
rips
same
his
thing,
dirt bike and shit too, man. Brendan knows how to rip a dirt bike.
Brandon's been on two wheels since he can probably stink and crawl type guy, man. You know, Brandon's been on.
They're doing a stunt show at the Chopper Fest again this year.
Are they?
Yeah. Kellen,
that's
Kellen, Dynamite, Brandon.
We're like 3 weeks away, dude. We got to get on that, man.
I think we've been sleeping on it too.
Yeah. Well, we've got
because usually we enter our bikes into the show just so we can park.
Right now, I think it's $43.
Yeah, and you get a free T-shirt and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So
basically, it's like $20.
It's like a no brainer kind of.
Yeah.
It's pretty much no brainer.
Yeah, it's about 3 weeks away, man. But Kellen and them are. I think it's Kellen, Brennan, Dynamite, and
Craze.
I think
it's Crazy.
Okay, because I've been talking to Kellen. He said he's going to have 4 guys that are out there.
Yeah.
We've been talking, trying to help where we can, bring some value to what they're doing and get our name out there with it.
Year.
Yeah, so we're trying to get involved with them a little bit. We're trying to do a little bit of I want to do a slow race, but I wanted to do it more for entertainment value, just to show people what it is versus how we normally do, where we just grab people in. I would love to be able to do it like that, but because it's at the fairgrounds, so much red tape and insurance things.
If you could do a buy-in
at the fairgrounds,
do a buy-in for the slow race.
Oh, I would.
And then whoever wins, they split the pot.
I would. We'll probably try and run something like that bike night, but at the fairgrounds,
is it gambling?
No. They don't want any. They don't want any.
It's
Chopper Fest doesn't want any running bikes through there. So any bike that we would have.
That's true. I got yelled at for riding. They're like, walk your bike. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, did you have to push? You have to push it in.
When I came in
after a certain
hour. When I left, I just fucking took off.
Oh, but when you come in, you can ride. You have to ride the thing in.
They stop me halfway through,
and then you got to push it.
I think it depends. It depends on what time of day you're pulling in. I think
that was the
stuff like that.
First one after the pandemic.
Okay. Well, either way, we're trying to do something like that over there, but because of all those things right there, it's a little harder just to be able to run a slow race like we normally would.
Yeah.
But I've been talking to Kellen a little bit. I guess I'm letting the cat out of the bag now, but it's not for sure. We've been trying to just do something there where I wanted to do it with Joe and I out there and showcase it, especially because it's Chopper Fest, feels like it's fitting where, hey, this is old school rally, back in the day, biker game type stuff. And here we are at Chopper Fest. Let's just kind of do an exhibition. And I think the stunners would kill it, to put on a show, So that was kind of our idea. We're still trying to kind of work it. Fingers crossed it does. But I'm like,
be on the mic while they're
we're like 3. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Kellen was even like, well, why don't we do that? And then maybe we can do the drift limbo thing. Dude. I'm all because only 4 people slow racing. It's if I can get 8, at least there's enough to showcase it.
Right.
4, it's going to be over pretty damn quick. Yeah. But he came up with the idea of we could do this drift limbo thing, and I'm like, sure, I'll get with that. And exactly that, man, where they can showcase some stuff. TR can do a little thing
I
and
think
showcase
that's
what
we
we
do.
do,
Let's do some drifting
and just kind of like have some entertainment value for Chopper Fest. So we're trying to work that out, man.
I think I would bring a lot of energy there.
I think it'd be cool. I think it would be fun just in general. The stunt stuff I know is always always fun, but exactly that, man. I'm just trying to bring an entertainment value and show some old school shit along with what these guys do, because those guys are nuts. Those guys, I mean, nuts in a cool way. You know, they're fucking nuts, man.
They're out there having fun.
Oh, I wish I could do it. I wish I could do it, man. Kellen makes it look like
they make it look easy.
Dude, Kellen, when he gets these, just are spinning on one wheel on his street bike with one leg out, and I'm like, dude, you make that look just like effortless. Dude.
Oh yeah.
Like it's
full on effortless.
Oh, it's amazing to watch. If you're sitting there and you're watching it and you understand the clutch work and the brake and the balance and probably the strength, because Kellen kind of yoked. Kellen got some mass to him. You got a freaking 600-pound bike.
So yeah,
you got to be able to manage that damn thing, you know. So when you look at it from that perspective, I always trip out.
I mean, he's running a rear brake and his clutch on the rear wheel, because you can't just stop your bike without pulling your clutch in. You'll kill the bike.
Well, I think it's also part of his stance. Dude. He's got his foot up on the rear, and then he's got one like up on the cage, or he's got one over the thing. So you can't have a foot over the brake. You need
Sometimes they're on like the tank all the way, like on the fairing.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes that foot just.
I think his Harley has.
It's like a ballerina act.
Yeah.
His Harley has
I like the one where he's gangster with it, dog. He stands on the bike backwards.
Oh, yeah.
While he's going down the freeway and shit.
Yeah,
while he's filming.
Also, he might even be doing that. Yeah, but I've seen him just stand up there, full on, like arms out, standing backwards on the bike, and just mobbing. I'm like, Kellen, you're a madman, dog. Like, I'm scared to stand on the seat. Like, you're over here, no handed on the tank.
I'm scared to stand on my pegs.
Dude, I get on the pegs, but there's times, dude, I've watched old school stuff with like Indian Larry and some of these old school guys, man. Like, I kind of want to feel that motorcycle surfing thing. I've got up there and I've did it with my
I've done that once or twice.
But I'm like, damn, I don't want to go
very
down.
Uneasy feeling.
Well, dog, Indian Larry, rest in peace. That is actually
that's how
he passed, man. That he did it all the time, but all it takes is one
little bump,
and you land the wrong way or something, and boom, you know. But that's with anything. That's with riding a motorcycle in general. But that's exactly what he was doing.
Yep.
When he passed, man, you know. So, but yeah, Kellen's crazy with it, dog. Kellen and that team, man.
That should be a fun one. That should be a really fun
Chopper
one.
Fest. Yeah, we're doing some more giveaways. We're gonna. I think.
Are you guys are gonna have two booths, or just are you gonna end up emceeing the stunt?
That's another thing we're trying to. Well, I guess
figure out.
Cat might be out of there on this one too. But
I mean, this is all just ideas.
We told him like, I told Ray like, we have our 10x10, so let's put our 10x10 over at the stunt spot. And we have 4 speakers now as well,
right?
Along with 2 units to play. So it's like,
I think it would be
we'll put ours and then let them use ours. The other set, they could play whatever music they want, Bluetooth to it, and then we'll have a mic set up there for them too. You know, and just kind of help out that way. But our booth will be over there at least.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
So we'll see. They can park their bikes under it and shit. You know.
So yeah, but Chopper Fest is always good, man. I love it because it's right here and it's in our backyard. It's kind of like Joe and I have always referred and dubbed it as like our Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
It's right here in our backyard, big giant show.
Packed last year.
It is every year, man. And people have gone, man, it's on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
And at first you're kind of like, huh? But then you realize like, no, it's a really good day to have it because you go do the show. And the game is at 3:30.
Yeah,
you know what your day is. You're riding and checking out the Chopper Fest, and then you're going somewhere to get fat and watch the Super Bowl. You know, that's what. It's a good day.
Sounds like a solid.
It sounds like a very solid day right there.
No, it does.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. You'll have to swing by, man. We're doing giveaways, like we did last time. So I think we're teaming up with Shannon, Pretty Mama, who also works with Law Tigers. So we're just trying to, I don't know, man. We're just trying to give back. You know, everyone likes free shit. Who doesn't like free shit?
It's free shit.
I know.
Everybody does.
If it's free, it's for me.
Right.
Oh, yes.
That's the way it goes, man. So
what's next on the chopping block for you?
Probably strip that FXR down and just start building that up.
You can't do that right before summertime.
Huh?
Yeah. Are you gonna be sitting
That's
on
a wintertime thing, buddy.
The thing is, when you work on everybody else's bike, you have no time for your own shit.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'm trying to clear out my garage just so I can do my own shit for once.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have a lot of plans, but it's like I nitpick at my bike rather than just like doing what I really want to do.
Yeah.
So I got the funds now, so I can wait for the right time, I guess, to when my garage is not packed.
Yeah.
And
it's almost kind of nice to buy parts too and get everything kind of ready,
right,
and then boom, break down.
Yeah, because I mean, there's not a lot
ready.
that I'm going to replace. A lot of it's just going to be like cleaning it up, you know, replacing bearings, powder coating, all that kind of stuff. So,
which is huge for an FXR.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it, you know, an Evo. I'm going to keep the trans, the primary, and all that kind of stuff. There's already a Riva clutch in it, so it's already a pretty good bike right now. It's just, you know, a puker. Yeah. She's tired. She's worn out. You can tell it's old. You know.
How many miles on it?
I have no idea. I don't got no gauges.
All right. Well, yeah, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't know then, huh?
But you know, that's how I like my bike. I don't like gauges. I don't want blinkers on my shit.
Yeah.
I like my bike tall and narrow. I don't even like running crash bars.
No,
I
sound like me.
It's just
everyone always looks at my bike and goes, "You don't have a crash bar on that thing on the Road Glide?"
Yeah.
Actually, I don't have one on any of them, but the Road Glide is the one everyone is always like, "Dude, you don't have a." Nope. Well, what if you drop it? I fucking drop it.
Then I fix it.
I know the risk I'm running, but I like the way it looks.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the name of the game.
Yeah.
You know,
for me, it's like I can squeeze in through cars. I feel like I'm gonna hit every car when I'm running a crash bar.
Well, you usually won't, but I know the feeling. I know what you mean.
I just don't want that feeling.
Yeah. How's your brother, by the way, man?
He's good. He's working.
Is he riding still?
He
does he still have the DX?
He's got the DX still.
Okay.
That thing's, you know, pristine now. He's just more he's a trucker, so his license is very on the line for anything he does.
Yeah.
So
I remember that. I used to have a class B, not as strict as an A.
But you know, like when you do your motorcycle license test, you have to take all the licenses.
Yeah.
So when you have a class C, or a class A, you gotta take all the tests again. And the class A is crazy.
Yeah.
And then so he was in the middle of doing it, but he was failing the motorcycle exam, and he didn't want to fail the last one because you have like 3 tries already.
Yep.
So he didn't take the risk. So he just. So right now he doesn't have his motorcycle license, but
gotcha.
I know a few people that don't, and they still ride.
Yeah, but he's got a lot to lose to get pulled over to not, you know.
So,
once you get
one ticket and you're done.
Yeah, once you have a class, well, obviously once you have a class A or B, you're typically that is your job kind of depends on that.
Yeah, and your livelihood.
Yeah, so you don't mess around. I've had a B before. I never got an A, but I used to work for a water company.
Oh yeah.
And because of the weight of the truck, they had air brakes on them. So they put you going through. They at least trained you to do all the testing and how prepared you for the DMV test. But yeah, I had to get a Class B endorsement, and I remember, I mean, not that you should drink and drive any damn way, but I remember them going, "All right, now part of it is your blood alcohol content is like half of what the legal age limit is."
I think it's like 0.02 now.
It probably could be because this was 10, 15
don't quote
years
me on
ago.
that. It used to be 0.04, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they just dropped it to like 0.02 recently.
It wouldn't surprise me. It definitely wouldn't.
That's like
it's probably like 0.
And even
that's
if
like one beer.
Yeah.
You know, that's not even a beer.
That's
what I'm saying. That's not even a beer.
At some point, it's just going to be
you smelt it.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it to your lips. You know. Yeah. Yeah, that was part of that. That's part of owning or having one of those things, man, is all the extra that you got to consider. I remember having to do that. That's why I dropped my B, because they're like, "All right, you need to take all your tests again." I'm like, I don't even need that B anymore. Forget it. Get rid of that shit, you know?
Yeah.
So how's working everything, man?
That's
you
good.
working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 to 5 every day. Then I'm in the garage from 6 to 10 every day.
That's the grind then right now.
Yeah. Every day.
So
well, except for weekends, but you know.
When do you make time for the riding?
When I have time. it's hit and miss. So it's
are you riding with your dad?
It's either like I'm working in the garage or I get a little time to ride, or I'm with my daughter or something.
No.
So it's just,
is your dad riding with you?
Yeah, I ride with him every once in a while.
You got that bike?
He doesn't like riding with us because he's more of like the laid back kind of rider. And
I saw my old man.
Yeah.
But you did like a little bar swap on that thing and stuff too, right? For him?
I fully rebuilt. I fully rebuilt his bike.
Yeah, recently. A lot more comfortable for him.
Yeah, we did suspension. We didn't do like crazy suspension, but just like enough to like not Harley suspension. So it wasn't a sponge, because dude, he was like riding through our lawn and it looked like a goddamn pre-runner, just fucking, you know. So I did the forks, the rear shocks, rebuilt his spoke wheels, kept it spoked, traditional. Like that bike was so stock, it had the dealership stickers on it still. Yeah, like on the tank, on the left, where the fuel gauge is, it says
the
"Do
caution.
not twist." So this is not a fuel cap. But yeah, so cleaned it all up pretty much. Paste motor mounts and gaskets and all that kind of stuff. Seal it back up.
Yeah.
Good for another 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
But yeah, he rode that thing fucking everywhere. Canada, all this other shit.
Really?
Yeah.
But he kept that sticker. He kept them stock
He
stickers on
kept
there.
on the stock stickers, stock fucking throttle, fucking levers, and yeah, everything.
Did you buy it new?
Bought it brand new here.
Brought it brand new.
It was on a little fucking pedestal.
So
thing.
original
paint. It was like a showroom thing.
That's a original paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be, I think.
Yeah.
Not too many
like
yellow.
No, it's
Harleys.
so yeah, I think it's I don't see it. I think maybe seen one. I call it the Laker bike because it's yellow and purple, but not the color I would have chose.
Is that like when the Lakers were going back to back to back and all that too? Maybe.
No,
maybe.
Hey, but
I'm not a
It's a
big
special
basketball
edition.
guy.
Is it?
It's a special edition paint.
what year is it?
04.
04. I'm
Yeah,
not a
you got to
big-
think back
So
to
it's
04. You got to think
04,
back to 04,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
what was popular then,
Yeah.
and you know, as they call them, Taco Bell paint jobs. You know, those
yeah.
those colors of were choice. You know, they the splatter, or the zigzags, but the color schemes back then were pastel-y, kind
Very
of
retro.
yellow, loud. You know,
Yeah.
that was the style then. You know,
yeah.
but. So it always goes with the times. The new ones, man, they got flames. They got the new CVOs. They got those ghosted flames on them and shit. They're changing, keeping up with the style and shit. You know. So Cody, I got a question there, man. So you've been in the Harley realm for what?
Like 5-6 years.
5-6 years. So in that 5 and 6 years, I'll get a little deep on you. In those 5 and 6 years, what has been your biggest takeaway? And also let's start with your biggest takeaway from being 5 years into this.
My biggest takeaway: ride your own ride.
Ride your own ride.
And because
For what? I mean, what is?
Because it's like I ride with some gnarly guys. We rip canyons and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I'm not in the mood for it. So like if I'm with them, I'll fall back. I don't care. I'm not going to try to keep up. I'm not going to push my limits if I'm not feeling it.
I feel you.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that. And it costs them a lot because I've seen a lot of people go down and it's not fun watching them go down either.
Yeah.
So I think just go at your own pace.
That's
well said.
I think that's good advice, man.
Yeah,
We
well
say
said.
that very often. I think we say it. I don't know that we say it enough. But when you men in us, right? The man in us is always machismo or tough. That is the man in us. So when you get around another group of men, you kind of don't want to be the last man, right? And so you sometimes do exactly what you just said. Is you like, well, I don't want to be the bitch.
Yeah, you
Or
got
I
to
don't
put
wanna be
your pride aside.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Set the ego aside a little
I
bit.
see a lot of people doing that. They're like riding with guys that are riding fast and they want to be fast guys too. So they're pushing their limits and they're riding beyond their limits and it ends up costing them. And that's the type of people that you see end up leaving the bike scene.
Yeah.
Because it's like they go down and they realize how fucked up it is when you go down because it's not fun.
It costs them and then it ruins it ruins a lot of other people's days too because they get to see it and it's not good for the person that watches it or helps us to watch
our
and see
buddy
it
David, he passed away on PCH. That fucked my brother up.
Yeah.
Oh, your brother was with you that day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I can only imagine.
It fucked me up for a while too. I didn't touch my GoPro for like a year.
Yeah. Believe me,
Rest in peace.
I have I've known people that have passed on motorcycles throughout my time. I have myself not witnessed it, maybe in the sense that you guys have, but I have witnessed a body lifeless off the side of the road. The accident happened before I got there, but before medical and everything else could get there. And it hit you because you're like, whoa, that is the moment of where you go, could have been me, or that's a possibility. And so it'll
But
fuck
the worst
with you.
part of that is the ride home.
Oh, it'll come in waves, but yeah, afterwards, you got to get back on your bike and go.
Because the whole plan was go to back to my house, and I'm riding not with him.
Yeah,
he's no longer in our group.
Yeah,
it's just fucking the most eerie feeling.
Yeah. Understandable, man.
I can imagine that. Yeah,
I mean, sorry for the loss.
No,
it's shitty for obviously the young man, his family, his friends that had to experience it with him. But I think that is a good thing for you to kind of mention, because it's important. But I think you can obviously clearly relate to why you have an experience that, like, oh shit. Now maybe people will think about that a little bit more when you're out there and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and you're trying to impress so-and-so or be somebody that you're not. I got a family to get home to, and I know, I've learned that myself. I got kids to get back home to. I've got things. I got life to live and all this stuff. It's not worth it to try and to not have that, to simply just be, to have the bigger ball sack or the whatever, real men can tuck their tails and go, I'll live to fight another day.
There's always going to be somebody faster around. I don't care what it is.
There's always someone faster.
And even like you said, Roger, there's a day where you're not feeling it, or something feels off on the bike or whatever it is, and you take two corners tight and it's like, something, dude. Back the fuck off, dude. Your homeboy is going to be waiting at the next turn or at the next open spot, or he's going to slow down and you're going to catch him at some point. You know what I mean?
It's not going to end your day.
Don't push yourself
to wait
if you're
5
not
minutes.
feeling it. Yeah. Yep.
No, it's good advice. There's a lot of new people that watch and listen to the podcast, and they're new to riding, because when you get into this, you're looking for things like us. And I say us in terms of media, or just like what's out there. And we're one of those things. So you find things, and then you're a new rider. It's good for people to hear things like that. They need to hear, especially new riders, and a reminder to seasoned riders. Because like, it's just because
don't get too cocky.
Don't get too cocky is a really good way to put it. And don't ride outside of your means, man. If you're not feeling it, there's a trip too, man, because I think that I'll say this on intuition and gut feeling and stuff, right? Like what you said, these days I just want to cruise. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm going to stay back. Listen to that intuition, listen to that. The day that I came across this lifeless person on the side of the road, the passenger that was with me tapped me on the shoulder 5-10 minutes before that on the way up this road. And I stopped and I'm like, you good? She's like, yeah, I don't know. I just felt kind of, I don't know. I just feel weird. I'm like, want to go back home? Because I was kind of listening, and she's like, no, I'm good. 5 minutes later, that's what I come across. So my point is, sometimes if you, trust that gut, if you're like, I'm just going to kick back, do that. Yeah. If I feel like you got a little bit in you, you feel good about your riding, your bike feels good, go ahead and have a little fun, but boy, listen to the little man on your shoulder. Listen to that gut intuition, because it's a real thing, especially on a motorcycle.
Yeah, and don't ever chase nobody. You know what I mean? If you start chasing somebody, man, you're gonna wad yourself up at some point. I guarantee it. Yeah, because you're not gonna be able to brake like that dude in front of you, or downshift, or whatever it is. Maybe his bike sits an inch higher. And next thing you know, you're cornering and you're slow siding because your bike's, what I mean? So don't chase nobody, man.
Yeah. So I think like all that, it's just, I think that is the reason a lot of people get out of the bike scene. Yeah. And I think that's why the bike scene always kind of fluctuates. Like last couple of years, it's been booming. This year, it feels like it's kind of trickling down a little bit. A lot of people are walking away from it, giving it up. So I think, they get scared because they experience a scary situation, and then they realize it's not for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And with all due respect, walk away.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I mean?
Walk away.
Because all you're doing is putting yourself or somebody else in danger. There's so many other things in life,
don't revolve your whole life around one hobby.
Yeah.
I do.
but it's just like, there's so much more out there.
No, well, it's seat time. That's what it is, to like what you're talking about. And, if you're in a canyon and you're trying to chase somebody that's better or faster than you, or has a bike that's built to be able to handle a turn that yours isn't, those are all variables, right? But you could still go out there at seat time and seat time and seat time. There's so many roads. Like I've ridden the 150. I don't know how many times. I've done it at 40 miles an hour. And I've done it at 90 miles an hour, right? Through these turns and these twists and all this stuff. I've done it all within those speeds right there. But I've done it at 40 and had just as much fun that I had doing it at 90, because you could still take a turn at a nice, learning an angle, learning your body position, learning a line of a turn. Like when you, instead of just thinking like the faster I go, the better I am.
Speed doesn't make you good.
Speed does not make you good, right? It's like when you get into a twisty and you get on a racetrack or you get into a mountain or something like that, it's about your ability to maneuver the bike, to throw its weight left and its right, to learn at a line, to understand how fast you can go into that, when you can come out and hit gas and keep stuff. There's so much elements that go into being able to go into it fast.
Body position is a huge thing too.
Everything. But until you kind of learn all those things, or at least you kind of start understanding those fundamentals and those skills, that's when once you have at least the basics of those, is then when you could start slowly increasing the speed at which you go through it. But speed does not equate to like you being good. It really doesn't. I've got a friend that can do it in like 40, and while I'm trying to do it in 50, and he's just effortless, because it's just and I'm over here like trying to chase him because he understands a better line, he understands a trail braking better, whatever his combination is, he'll smoke me.
And then you got the guys that go 140 down the freeway, and Mr. Badass. And then you're like, all right, let's go to the canyons now.
Well, that's a different style of racing, you know? Well,
they do 140, but they can't stop when the car pulls out in front of them because they don't know how to pull in the clutch and downshift or hit the brakes. You know, that's where you're saying, like, but both of you guys are saying it's control, and
it comes back to seat time, man. It comes back to seat time, because all these guys, you're hitting a straightaway and you're doing 140.
There's no speed, there's no rev limiter, there's no speedo, there's no tack. It's listen and feel and look. And I love taking that to the street. My bike has a tack and a speedo. I don't look at it unless I'm see a cop and I'm flying by the cop, and that's the only time I look at the speedo, just to make sure I'm not going too, you know what I mean? Other than that, even down the freeway, I gauge myself at whatever the RPMs are and how I'm flowing with traffic and the feel of the bike. And
I don't have gauges, I don't have blinkers, I don't got mirrors, nothing.
Feel your bike, man. Know your bike. Know your ride.
Yeah. So we'll end it on this, because I think this is a good way to kind of end it. You've been in the game for, and I call it the game like it's a journey, but I mean, you've been in this Harley shit for 5-6 years now. What, I have my own advice being in it for 20-ish years. Joe has his. You've been in it for 5-6. So now, from looking at it on that lens, for people that are getting into it, coming into it, want to be into it, or whatever, they're coming into this industry, which I want to have, believe me, as I am the old timer now. Fuck that. I'll say it as the old fucking timer. I want to see younger generations, like 18. I want to see, like, when I got into motorcycles, that age start to get into it, because Orange County Choppers and Jesse James, that was a big giant thing. I got into it as well, just because of all that type of stuff. But my old man, there were all my influences. So the influences are different now, right? They're totally different.
100% different.
They're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, they're on YouTube. We're all that shit just as well. We're
everybody's an influencer.
Everybody, I hate that word. I fucking hate it. But what would you what would you suggest, advice? Hey, if you're getting into this, what would you give some advice to somebody in terms of, like, hey, this is what you're stepping in, not what you're stepping into. What advice would you give them as they're coming into this?
If they already have a bike, just come fucking hang out. If they don't have a bike, ask around. Don't just go out there and buy a bike without understanding what that bike is. Because, I see a lot of people that end up buying like road glides, and they're like, shit, I want a fucking Dyna. And then they go buy a Dyna. Then instead of jumping through those hoops, just start asking questions, start talking to people.
Yeah.
But, if you got a bike, biggest thing is just going and hanging out with people, make friends.
Solid ass advice right there, man. I have listened. You guys know Jace from Fast Life, right? You guys, I'm sure most of us have probably heard, at least if you're in this Harley thing, podcasting for many years. So I've listened to his podcast in the back. And now that is something that I was like, that's exactly what it is. He gets it because I get it. And you just said exactly what I am an advocate for as well. You got a bike, show up. Show up. We host a bike night every third Tuesday.
Don't be scared.
Well, we host a bike night every third Tuesday, right? We just put it out there. It's for you to come up and roll up and say what's up. You have a bike and meet people and understand. Now I'll add another layer to it. Show up, right? But when you show up, don't just stand over in the corner and expect me or somebody else to come and talk to you and like invite you in. Not that you can't be invited in, but don't just stand over there. You gotta show up.
Make yourself part of it.
And say what's up. My name's blah blah blah, and just start talking to the people because everybody that I've come across in this shit, we can talk about our motorcycles for days. And it's really that simple for you to be. That's where the conversation can quickly, easily start. And it spawns from there. But that is solid advice. You got a bike. The Instagram is if you're going to influence, I hate the word. If you're going to if you're coming into this and you're starting your Instagram page and you're doing this, you're doing that, great. Whatever your reasons are. But at the helm of it, do exactly what Cody just said. Show up. Show up. Meet people that are inside of this culture. Don't worry about trying to build your media following and you're this and you're that. Show up and see people, the people that are around you in your community. Find people to ride with. You'll eventually figure out, I don't like that group. I don't like the way they ride. Don't come riding with us if you don't like to ride fast. We're telling you that now. But you know what I'm saying? Show up, man. That's solid advice, Cody.
You never know who you're gonna meet.
Yep.
It's just like biggest thing is just showing up, talking, making yourself a part of it.
Yep.
And then doesn't matter what event it is.
Show up and don't be a hard ass.
Don't be afraid to be the new guy.
Yeah.
We've all been new guys.
Oh, for sure.
Come hang out.
Yeah.
If you're nervous, bring a joint, even if you don't smoke. Guarantee you'll end up in one person's circle. You'll end up in one circle talking.
That's probably
I think that's the best advice.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
even if you don't smoke, bring a joint. You'll end up in a circle talking to somebody.
It's called an icebreaker.
That's
what it is, man. Yeah, show up, guys. That is solid advice. If you guys are out there riding, you're getting into this thing. Show up, introduce yourself, say what's up, let people know who you are. Just be cool. Just be cool. That's all that you got to be cool. You got to be
Even if you already got friends and you're trying to make new ones.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. I got plenty. I got different circles of friends that are into different type of things, man. Know. So, but that's good advice, man. I'm gonna. That's a good place to kind of end it right there. You guys riding today? What are you guys doing the rest of the day?
No idea. What are we doing?
I think I'm gonna go have some sushi at Sumo Sushi right now.
Where's that at? Is that an invite or is that a solo dolo?
Yeah, you guys should come if you want. I just think that's our plan. I'm starving, dude. And we were talking about grabbing some sushi. You guys are more than welcome. I don't care.
Well, what time is it?
I'm gonna do that.
I might have a little putt in me. All of our bikes are
I'm
here.
doing sushi, and then I'm gonna go home and watch Supercross at 5:30.
Oh, Supercross is tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my
in the
plan.
garage. So is that an invite to the garage?
Of course.
Okay.
The garage will be open from 5:30 to 9.
At 9 o'clock it closes.
We'll get beer.
I will have beer. I mean, I have Red Stripes and Asahi, and
I just want to come drink your beer.
some fag left some Bud Lights.
Remember when I told you can kind of hear like you can tell your friend's bike? That sounded like Mikey.
A little rap.
Maybe
It's had a nice little rap to it that could be Mikey. If it's not
like a M8 rap,
it sounded a little it sounded like it could, like Mikey could have just rolled up, man. Well, Cody, it's good chilling with you, man.
Definitely.
Good catching up with you, man. It's like I said, we didn't dive into but it's nice. I'll close with this, man. Cody and I had our differences at one point where we couldn't see eye to eye on some shit. And as men, we were stubborn and this, that, and the other. But at some point, we just, we had a beer. We sat down. We met at a bar. We talked about it. And it was over and it was done with and moved on. I want to thank you for doing that and being that type of man to go, hey, yeah, let's talk. Let's finish our shit. And now we're here chilling, riding, podcasting.
There's no reason to hold grudges against anything.
No, I'm a stubborn motherfucker though, man. I'll be first to admit.
In all reality, a little TR history for you guys, a little Throttled Roots history. This man is the one that pretty much came up with the original TR.
Yeah. You were
he came up with the original TR.
You
are a little TR history.
Pull that one out right there. Is that it right there? That one. Bring that up on
right here.
camera right there.
Right here.
Yeah.
That guy right there.
That one right there. That's Cody Wayne came up with that shit, man. And we've been running with it since, man.
Yeah.
So, but Cody, man, it's good to catch up with you, man. I like to see the growth.
Yeah.
You know, I like
likewise, dude. I like what you guys have been doing. 100%.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate
your guys' booth setups. You guys are at all the events. Everything you guys have been doing. Yeah, I couldn't be more proud.
We appreciate that, man.
Yep. You guys are always welcome. You know that, man.
Oh yeah.
Just
my garage is always open.
Yeah, they're always
just
welcome in the booth with a couple beers, baby.
Just like we didn't know we were doing when you were on the team, Joe and I still don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
This season, man. We got an idea, but we're just going along with whatever happens organically, man. You're always welcome here. You know, for those of you guys that don't know, hit them with the Instagram so you can get a hold of you. What is the Instagram?
Cody Wayne Moto.
Cody Wayne Moto, man. So hit up Cody. Cody, appreciate it, man.
You
Joe,
too.
Appreciate you, boy.
Good to hang out, man. You guys know the deal. Every Thursday right here, 7 p.m. Check out all the other podcasts over on Spotify, all the YouTube stuff. We're going to go take a ride. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Later on, guys.
Peace.
Later.
Thanks, homeboy.
Yeah, doggy.
Appreciate it, man.
100%.